What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be installing something on my 4Runner that is going to make it look epic. And that thing is going to be this Prinsu roof rack. Look at this thing. Let's get to unboxing it. Today we're going to be doing a full review, full install of this Prinsu roof rack. We're going to be putting it on this bad boy right here. So this Prinsu roof rack was ordered off of 4Runner Lifestyle. It is the full non-drill roof rack from their website. Went ahead and ordered it when it was on sale for Black Friday. Went ahead and saved a couple of extra dollars here. But let's get right into it. We're going to be doing a full install and review of this Prinsu roof rack. So stay tuned. After getting the box open, just got a bunch of parts everywhere. So this is our full Prinsu roof rack. Let's get into unboxing it. Let's get it set up. Let's get all the hardware out and let's get to installing. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna break down these boxes and kind of lay the bars on them. That way we have just like a flat ground to work on. We don't have to scratch any of the bars on the concrete at all. All right, so you're gonna get a bunch of hardware bags. You're gonna get all these crossbars. What I'd recommend is just lay out the two bars. So you've got your two side bars, you've got the wind deflector tube right here that kind of just attaches on to that wind deflector mount right there. So let's get into it. Let's start attaching some of these bars with the hardware. All right, now that we've got it all set up and we've got it all lined out, we're gonna grab this bag right here. And it's got just a bunch of hardware, a bunch of nuts and bolts and screws or whatever that's in this bag. And we're gonna be using it to clip and screw in this bar right here into these crossbars right there. So we're gonna start with this back bar right here, not this gray one, but this black one here. Now, because of the way that 4Runners are set up, these bars right here are supposed to be mounted into this black one. If you want it into these small holes right here, you can have them where they're just stationary. And if you clip them into this side one right here, you can adjust the bars back and forth, which is nice, but I think I'm just gonna install it into this stationary one, a fixed one. But because of the way 4Runners are designed, they've actually got a fin kind of on the back of the hood. So on this last bar right here, if we were to install it sideways, vertical like this, it's gonna run into this fin that's sitting on the back of the 4Runner on the roof. So we're actually gonna take this last bar right here and we're gonna shoot it up vertical. And we're gonna install it vertically into this right here. So I'll show you guys how to install it here in a second, but I'm just gonna show you guys just an overview of what it's potentially gonna look like. Man, it's gonna look so good on top of the roof. So I'll show you guys how to install that real quick. Looking at this installation right here, we're gonna have two different holes right here. So we're actually gonna stick one in each hole, and that is what this crossbar is going to connect into. So basically you're just gonna go down this entire side right here, and that's how you get those to connect. So for this back one, we're gonna keep this right here, and that's how we're gonna basically set the foundation for this roof rack. Is we're just going to connect this last bar real quick and then I'll be right back. All right, so we just installed this one side right here. We're going to flip over to this other side. Do the same exact thing. Big key, do not screw all these in all the way very tightly because this is going to adjust as we keep on. So let's flip over to the other side and we're going to screw in the exact same thing over here. right, so we're gonna be doing the exact same thing throughout this entire roof rack. So we, again, took these, lightly screwed them in right here on this last roof rack, or on this last crossbar right here. So we're gonna go through this entire thing. Again, we're gonna be installing into this fixed hole already. And so the same exact thing, you take the nut, the washer, thread it through this, install both of them into that, as followed on both sides, and do it all the way down. So now that we've got it all lined up, all screwed in, we're actually gonna tighten it all down now. All right, so we've got this installed. Now it's time for the wind deflector. I went ahead and already did it off camera, but I'll show you guys how to do it. So you're actually gonna take a bolt, you're gonna take a washer, and then, let me slide this out real quick so I can show you guys. You're gonna take one of these wash lockers right here. So thread those all together. Just a bolt, washer, lock washer. All right, so once you get through all these lock washers and attached to the back of this wind deflector here, you're gonna take this gray piece and it kind of just slides right in together. I'll kind of show you guys pushed up. Again, this gray piece is just gonna slide. So you're gonna slide this entire gray piece all the way through that attaches to the back of this wind deflector. And then after that, you just tighten down the bolts onto this side. All right, so now we're just gonna simply tighten these bolts down so they're nice and tight. Make sure it's sitting flush with this side right here, so none of this gray piece is sticking out over the edge of the wind deflector piece. Just gonna go through and make sure everything is tight. All right, so I'm not gonna try to spoil too much of what's coming in this car, but as you can see, I might have gotten a cutout for a 40-inch light bar. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, that's coming soon. That will be added onto this light bar. But let's get to the next step. Now we're just gonna take the exact same thing like we did on all the previous drill-in spots. We're gonna take both of these and fill them into this hole right here. All right, so we got that side screwed in. Let's come over to the other side. We'll do the exact same thing over here. So we've got both of those ready to go. We're gonna just do the final touches and screw them down, and I'll be right back. Well, bam, we have got this fully installed, ready to put on. We still got this little deflector piece, silver piece to put on this bottom part right here. But once we do that, this thing will be ready to install onto the top of the 4Runner. All right, so what we're gonna do with this noise piece to help reduce not only the wind, but also it protects the paint with this rubber piece on the bottom. So we're just gonna start threading it through. We're gonna start with the corner right here. Just kind of lift this up and put this piece in the corner and just thread it all the way down the end of this wind deflector. Booyah. Boom. Got it. All right, so we got the little piece connected here on the bottom. At the end, you're gonna run into a little bit of an extra piece that you're gonna have to end up cutting off because they do make it a little bit long. So you've gotta trim it. I just took these clippers, these trimmers, just trimmed it down, which made it fit perfectly. We actually found that it was easier if you flip the rack upside down to install and kind of press down those things. Makes it a whole lot easier than trying to do it from the bottom here. All right, let's bring in the 4Runner so we can finally put this roof rack on top of the car. All right, so now that we've got the 4Runner in the garage, we're gonna have to take off these factory bars and crossbars that came with the car. So let's get working on that. I really got to figure out, I haven't really seen how to do this. Shouldn't be that complicated considering I just put together that roof rack. So let's take this apart and we'll be right back with you. There we go.
There you go. I figured they'd pop off somehow.
Yeah. So we're just taking this flathead screwdriver and popping off these to get into here. So we're just taking the bolts off of every corner. There's 2 on each. And basically this whole thing, this whole crossbar is just gonna lift up whenever we're done taking off all of these bolts here. All right, now it's time to take off the top of this. So this should just lift. Yeah. All right, so we went ahead and got some bolts ready. We went bolt, lock washer, then the washer. Just to get ready, the roof rack's gonna sit on top of these things right here. Hold on, I got some box over here. Let's see, where's my one up top. Boom. Boom. Got the other one. The next one. That's good. Same thing as before, just taking the bolt, lock washer, and washer into both of these. So we officially got it all on. We're kind of looking at this body line here, see if it all matches up. We got silicone put into each hole here. Man, look at that. All right, guys, this thing looks absolutely freaking killer. Got a couple more things to do. We've got a mount that goes in right here to this piece right here, but we've got to cut this weather strip right here so the mount can actually fit into this piece right here. That's really the last thing that we've got to do to this thing. We can fill in a little bit more silicone on both of these sides right here. It's a little hard to film, but we really need, if you haven't installed one of these before, you've got to put silicone in all the factory holes. That way, no weather, no like rain can get into the holes. So the silicone is basically just going to be weather prevention. It's going to seal up any sort of crack or leak that could potentially happen. So that silicone is very, very important for installing this. Here's a better angle. Really need to put silicone all up in here. That way it's covered with silicone. That way nothing can potentially seep into the actual car itself. But overall impressions, this thing looks freaking killer. We kind of lined it up, this body line, as you can see, right at the edge of the black weather strip on both sides. So we did really good of actually lining up the roof rack. Man, I can't wait to see. Again, got a light bar coming in soon, and that'll fit right into here. That'll make this thing look absolutely killer. Boom. All right, for this last mount, we're gonna have to take off this weather strip right here and cut right where this is for the last mount. Come show you. On this side over here, we just finished it. So right here you can see we've got this mount, which is just 3M to the body itself. Once we cut this weather strip, we still gotta cut a little bit more of this excess one over here. But this is what it looks like. Got the 2 bolts in it. So the last step of the install, I'm just going around into every little hole here, and I'm putting just extra silicone. It's never a bad thing to have extra silicone up into these cracks again, just to make sure there's no possibility of any sort of water seeping into any of these holes. Even where we didn't even drill in, I'm still putting silicone right there just for the chance of nothing happening. So that is going to be the last step of this install process. Just going around, again, just making sure nothing can get into this car. I think one of the cool things about this Prinsu roof rack, and that made me go with it a lot, was the fact that you can still open up the sunroof. So you can still open up the sunroof while you've got this roof rack on, which is quite amazing that you can still have a functional sunroof that you pay for whenever you get this option. So it's good that they still allow you to keep this fully functional while still running a roof rack on it. Well guys, this is gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you guys all for watching so much. Just look at this thing, man. Flipping around, this thing looks absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed the way that this thing came out. Let me look at it from the front. Again, the body lines we lined up perfectly with that weather strip. Looks phenomenal, looks amazing. So if you guys liked the video, if you liked the install video and the instructions, please drop a like down below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because again, I've got more stuff coming for this beast later. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Have a good day.